Hello everyone and welcome to Killer Shrew Fans Killer Toy Reviews. I apologize if my voice sounds a little strange. I have had a cold low this past week and it is yet to leave me alone. But I did not want to let that stop me from making a quick video today. I'm sure a lot of you are very well aware that today is the first day of New York Toy Fair 2020, and with it has come several reveals from Mattel for upcoming Jurassic World toys. These photos come courtesy of the always incredible Collect Jurassic and Jurassic Outpost, and I will put a link in the description to their Instagram and Facebook pages where I found these images. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the smaller stuff and then work our way up. So, let's do this. First off, Snap Squads. Looks like Mattel will be giving us metallic versions of the little biters that are unfortunately absent from many widespread retailers. Looks like they will also be giving us our first herbivores from this subline, with an adorable Triceratops and Ankylosaurus. I love the Snap Squad products. I only managed to get my hands on 3 around the holidays when they were in Walmarts all over the place as stocking stuffers, but now I can't seem to find any. I know there are a few smaller stores like Mayhair's or whatever, but I don't have any of those near me. I hope these new releases are indicative of a coming resurgence for these little guys because, like I said, I love them, and I think the new ones look great. The metallic paint schemes, they're fun. Next up, a Primal Pal Indominus Rex complete with meaty ribs. Now, I know I am not the target demographic for the Primal Pals dinos, and I did skip Primal Pal Blue, but I do think that they are objectively adorable. I don't think I'll be getting this Indominus, but it is appealing, and I'm sure kids will love it. I mean, who wouldn't love having a baby dinosaur before they get all deadly? Alright, now for the 3 3/4 inch line. First up, some attack packs. Real quick, we have got a new Velociraptor paint scheme from what looks to be the Charlie attack pack mold. This one is neither here nor there for me. I could take it or leave it. It has some nice chaos effect vibes to it, and the colors do work well together. But it's ultimately just another raptor, another shelf filler, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be just another peg warmer. The more exciting raptor attack pack offering comes in the form of an updated Charlie attack pack that seems to bear the color scheme of the Savage Strike Charlie. She's hard to see, but she is back there, and I think she looks great. Far better than the Dino Rivals attack pack Charlie that they gave us last year, and I would gladly buy this new version. I think now you can use the Dino Rivals Charlie as Delta, because let's be honest, that one looks more like Delta than the one Mattel made for Delta. But yeah, very excited for an updated Charlie. We'll also be getting a new version of the Mosaurus. The patterning here is the same with the black stripes, however they've chosen to go for a more earthy tone with a brown dorsal and ventral coloration that gradiates nicely into a yellow underbelly. I loved the attack pack Mosaurus last year, and I think this one is another great version of it. I'm glad that Mattel didn't go too crazy with it, which means the two won't clash if they're displayed together, and I do think they will look good if displayed together, so this is another good attack pack from Mattel. We're also getting another Dimorphodon repaint. This one is a skip for me. I think we have enough of this mold, and the paint scheme on this one, though well done, isn't enough to justify me getting it. You can see it's done with a bluish-gray tone with a cream striping on the wings and face, and it looks okay, just not enough for me to want it. The next repaint is pretty sweet. It's the Gallimimus attack pack repainted to the Gallimimus attack pack repainted to resemble the classic Kenner Gallimimus, which I think is just a really fun thing for Mattel to be doing. I love the Gallimimus attack pack. It's among my favorites, and I know I'm in the minority with that, but just the fact that Mattel recognizes how many fans grew up with Kenner, and they are now paying tribute to them through repaint. It's a very cool idea to me. I originally had like a knee-jerk, what the heck is that reaction? But when I realized what was going on, I was completely sold. And this is one choice for Mattel that I will definitely be supporting. I would love to see them do more of this down the line. I like it better than just their crazy original repaints, that's for sure. And finally, for attack packs, we have a newcomer, a Troodon. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Looks a bit too basic for my taste, kind of cartoony, and unfortunately, this photo just makes it look proportionally disastrous. Promo pictures like these from Mattel are often extremely misleading to what the final product turns out to be, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see. But as far as attack packs go, I think I am most excited for Charlie and that Gallimimus. Now for the Savage Strikes. First up, a new Stygimoloch, and I think this was a bad choice on Mattel's part, I really do. First off, because the Stygi, in and of itself, is a shelf warmer. No one buys that Savage Strike, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one went the same way. I don't think that the paint scheme is bad. It might be a tad drab, with grays and dark maroons just across the board, but the decision to repaint it strips it of its Jurassic appeal. I like the Stygimoloch figures because of the Fallen Kingdom counterpart. Without the connection to the film, I couldn't care less about yet another of these things, and I doubt many people will. I think Mattel definitely should have put this effort towards a repaint of the now impossible to find Dimetrodon, or the horrendous Dilophosaurus from last year's Savage Strike line. Next up for Savage Strikes, a new Plesiosaurus. I think Mattel definitely played it safe with this one. It's a very basic and very stereotypical paint scheme to give to a Plesiosaurus, but given their track record with repaints, I think playing it safe might have been a good thing. I'm yet to add the Savage Strike Plesio to my collection, but I think this one is aesthetically similar enough to the battle damage offering to make it more of a priority to me than the Dino Rivals offering. And finally, for Savage Strikes, we have got yet another version of the Monolophosaurus. I'm still kind of bummed we're yet to see the battle damage repaint in the States, but I do dig this repaint of the Savage Strike offering. I love the Volcanics color scheme with the dark gray and black underbelly, mustard patterning, and splash of red on the nasal crest. I like this a lot more than the Dino Rivals mono, and it's one that I am looking forward to. Now for some of the larger stuff, the Sound Strikes, Roarivores, and Massive Biters. First up, yet another Triceratops. This is an easy skip for me. First of all, because I don't like the paint scheme with its muddy brown base and bright blue patterns. And second off, because I feel out of all the Jurassic molds, the Triceratops is the one that is most used, maybe aside from the Attack Pack Velociraptor. We've seen this model upwards of 5 times already, one of which we're yet to even see on shelves, so it feels like Mattel is designing so many of them that they're falling behind and losing track on the ones they've already, said they're going to release. The only reason I would add another of these to my collection at this point is if it was the spitting image of a Jurassic Park trike, which for whatever reason we are yet to get. The closest they came, in my opinion, is with the Sound Strike that they just released, yet even that has some notable differences, and I didn't even bother with it. So yeah, a thumbs down for this one, and a plea to Mattel to quit with this mold unless they're going to give us an actual Jurassic Park trike. Next up, another Pteranodon. This, along with the trike, is a popular mold for whatever reason. To Mattel's credit, I feel like this one most closely resembles the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodons, but it's too little too late for me. I'm tired of this mold too, and I don't think the paint even looks that fantastic on this one. Like I said, these pictures are often misleading, so we will see, but for now, I couldn't care less. I could leave it behind. But now we're getting to the more exciting stuff. We are actually going to get 2 Baryonyx models for the Primal attack line, both of which look better than the Dino Rivals Baryonyx. One is another repaint of the Roarivore mold. This one kind of reminds me of the Kenner Baryonyx in style, although it's not as blatant as the Gallimimus, but I do think it looks great. The sculpt on it, obviously, as good as it's always been, and I do dig this one, I really do. On top of that, we are also getting a Sound Strike version of the Baryonyx, and I hope dearly that they have replaced the Rex roars in this one. I love the color palette, especially the splash of red around the eyes, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm excited for both of these guys. On a similar note of excitement, we have got a Ceratosaurus Roarivore repaint coming our way, again head and shoulders above the god-awful pumpkin spice version of the Dino Rivals lineup. The Fallen Kingdom Roarivore was one of my favorites. I loved how it looked like the dinosaur from JP3, and this one has a similar style to it, yet it's different enough to warrant me thinking it's necessary. I don't think it looks more like the film counterpart, but it still looks dope, and I'm very excited to see this one in person. Next up, another retool, and one that I think is going to have a lot of people excited, myself included. It's a new Parasaurolophus. I knew Mattel was going to be releasing another version of this dinosaur for the Soundstrike lineup, but I was worried they were going to screw it up. But I honestly think it's an improvement over the Dual Attack offering. The paint scheme is much more intricate, the details pop so much better. I love that they actually gave it the camel hump back from the film. I will say I miss the red on the face, and I wish the toe claws were painted still, and I don't like how the paint scheme stops abruptly over the tail. But these are minor complaints. Based on the miniature blind bag version that is just now hitting stores, I thought Mattel was going to color this in a style more akin to the Jurassic World website para, which I wouldn't have been opposed to, but it's nice to see them improving upon the previous offering as well. The only thing I would have done is maybe lightened the base yellow a bit more, but beyond that, I'm happy with this model, and I think a lot of people will be excited to add it to the collection, especially since the Dual Attack one has become so hard to find. I just hope now that they don't screw up the sound effects, you know. We are also going to be getting a familiar repaint of the Stegosaurus. I am uncertain if this is a repaint of the Mega Dual Attack version, or just the Action Attack Stego, but either way, I think this is the best paint scheme yet for the Stegosaurus. She's hard to see back there. We have a kind of a clearer picture here, but I'm excited nonetheless. I think the paint scheme looks the most naturalistically applied, and the color scheme isn't too out there like the Dino Rivals one, so it's a perfect balance between the Action Attack and something new. So I think Mattel did a good job with that one. A new Control and Conquer Carnotaurus is on the way as well, with a paint scheme even more akin to the Fallen Kingdom film counterpart. I thought that the Control and Conquer Carnotaurus is pretty cool. I don't like how it got even bigger and the proportions are wonky, but it felt like an overall better offering than the Action Attack Carno. I thought the paint scheme was a bit off though, even if it was better applied. It didn't feel like it was the right palette, but it feels as though Mattel has corrected that here. Aside from the scratch, like the obviously painted on scratch on the nose, I'm a huge fan of the color scheme on this thing. It looks like the Fallen Kingdom Carno. The application is very well done, and if push comes to shove, I can just display that snout away from me so I don't have to look at it. So there's a plus on that side. So I'm glad we are getting yet another Carnotaurus. I always welcome Carnotaurus with open arms. Mattel has also released an image of yet another Albertosaurus repaint. I don't mind this color scheme, feels very snake-like and could again pass as a Chaos Effect style dinosaur, but I'm just perplexed as to why we're getting two of these for the coming year. They already promised us the toothpaste variant a few weeks back, and I'm uncertain whether or not this new one is another battle damage or a retooling, but either way, I don't know how necessary they both were. I don't prefer either of these paint schemes to the original. I don't think they're more intricate or anything. They're still basically three tones that just kind of start and end at the head. But I do prefer this one to the blue one, I will say. The wonky distribution of the battle damage lineup as of late has me doubting that we will be seeing either of these in the States anytime soon, though. And now for a low point, a repaint of the massive biter Sarcosuchus. If any of you have seen my review of that figure, you know I'm already not a fan of it, and now Mattel has stripped away one of the few appealing elements of that toy, which was the crocodilian-like paint scheme. I liked that they gave it a croc vibe, yet now, not even 2 months after that thing has started hitting shelves in a widespread manner, Mattel are giving us this bizarre redeco with a gray torso and underbelly, purple dorsal coloration, and orange splashes of color. I do hate this color scheme, but I don't think Mattel could have given me any paint job under the sun that would make me ever like this sculpt. So, whatever, I'm already against it, so take that as you will. Finally, for retools/repaints, we have got a new T-Rex coming our way. The epic roaring Tyrannosaurus Rex is rumored to be the largest in the 3 3/4 inch scale and features action gimmicks similar to the Control and Conquer Carnotaurus and the massive biter Tarbo, like if you married those together. I think for whatever reason the sculpt looks a bit cartoony. I know people are going to throw Camp Cretaceous in my face when I say that, but in my defense, the raptor in the teaser did not look like it had been cartoonized. Sure, it was animated in a cartoon style, but it's designed to not get changed to look less realistic, if that makes any sense. So I don't know what's going on with this Rex. It's not awful, not nearly as bad as the cartoony look of the Sarco, but it's enough to bug me. I also wish it had a different paint scheme. This looks like a mix between the thrash and throw colors and the bite and fight colors we've seen countless times before. Granted, there aren't a lot of Rex color schemes in the Jurassic franchise to pull from, but this would have been a perfect opportunity to give us a proper bull Rex. The Legacy Bull is too small, and the paint scheme is a bit lazy in my opinion. Really would have loved to see them update that and apply it here. But yeah, anywho, another Rex. Action gimmicks look fun at least, so there's that. And now for the new stuff. We have got 2.5 new sculpts revealed at this time. I say 2.5, I'll explain that later. First up, we have got the Ichthyovenator. I like this one. It might be just a little bit over-textured in my opinion, and maybe too similar to the Suchomimus, but I do think I like it more than that offering anyway. The paint scheme feels well balanced with the blue dorsal region and face, and then the brown and cream underbelly. I do think the head looks a little bit bizarre. Maybe it has to do with the nearly straight up holes in the face, but it looks, I don't know, elderly? I'll figure it out later, but I think this one is good enough. I just hope that they get the right sounds in there with it being a sound strike and all. And now for the biggest WTF of the day, the Majungasaurus. I don't mean that in necessarily a bad way, I just really don't know what to make of this figure. It's wacky. It is just wacky. First off, it's covered in these insane spikes, like all over it. It looks very prickly. And secondly, the paint scheme is just weird. It's a very saturated green with yellow stripes and purple, yes, purple highlights. I really don't know what to think of this thing. The proportions are also bizarre. The neck and head alone look to be as long, if not longer, than the tail, and the teeth are absolutely massively oversized. It took me a while to really pin down what I did not like about the Sarcosuchus, but I finally realized it was that baked-in angry eyes expression. Most of Mattel's offerings thus far have fairly neutral expressions. Unfortunately, this Majunga has a weird, brow raise going on that makes him look a bit surprised, perplexed, annoyed. I don't know. I guess if I was given that color scheme, I would be a bit shocked too. So, yeah, I really don't know what to think of this. I want to like it because I love Abelisaurids, but I don't know. I don't hate it like I hate the Sarco, but I'm not in love with it yet. I think it's just so out there that I need a second to process it, to really digest it. I think right now I'm just too taken aback to decide how I really feel about it. And now for the, what I call, half of a new sculpt, we are getting a big, super colossal Indominus Rex. Hooray for another shelf eater, I guess. I remember when the Super Colossal was supposed to be a one-off thing, but I guess it was so popular, Mattel decided to keep doing it. First with the Super Colossal Blue, and now this. To Mattel's credit, the detail is wonderful, as it was on their Destroy and Devour Indominus, and at least with this one, it can serve as a companion piece to the Super Colossal T-Rex, and work well with the 6-inch Amber figures. Yeah, Super Colossal Blue, what was even the point of that? What was I supposed to do with that? I love blue, don't get me wrong, but even I ended up skipping Super Colossal Blue because it just felt beyond pointless to me. This Indominus, however, does at least have a point to it, in that it would be fun to have it go up against the Super Colossal T-Rex, and like I said, detail is fantastic, and it also looks like we're going to be getting some neck articulation, which is new to the Super Colossal line, to my knowledge. So there you have it, guys. That is everything Mattel revealed toy-wise at Toyfair so far. We're also getting some Jurassic products outside the traditional action figure line, like clothing, Imaginetics, picture frames, that sort of thing. But as far as the action figures go, that's it for now. Overall, I will say this is a more exciting year than last year's Toyfair, and I'm very anxious to hear all of your thoughts on these new releases. I do wonder if there's anything else that will be revealed this weekend, but if not, they usually show off more coming products in the days and weeks after Toyfair, so I'm certain we will be seeing more from Mattel in the coming days and weeks. Be sure to stay tuned to this channel, as I will be sure to release videos with news as it comes, and as always, thank you for tuning in today. This is Killer Shrew Fan signing out. Bye-bye.